Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's Cyril here. As you can see, I just walked in the door and I wanted to talk to you guys immediately. As soon as I came in the door, I sat down here and I want to make a video. I want to talk to you. I just thought long and hard about something I just heard Donald Trump say in one of his latest rallies. The one in South Carolina and the one in New Hampshire. I'm not sure if he said this at one or at both. I'll find the link and put it down below, but I'm sure he said this, and I'll make sure I find it. He talked about how people are blaming him. You're not paying taxes, you're wealthy, you're not paying taxes. So I'm paraphrasing here. And he says, but he created incentives. That's what America's all about, incentives. All right, so that's paraphrasing, but that's what he just said last week. I thought about that. Incentives, America, and I thought about the word incentive, and the more I thought about it, incentive is it's a prettied up word for something that really isn't all that pretty. What is an incentive? If you really think about it, it's almost a threat, or it's an ultimatum. You don't say you're underpaid and your boss is mistreating you or harassing you, but it's an incentive to keep working there, because if you quit, you're going to end up on the street. You have $80,000 in loans from going to school, and you got rent, and you're already working 60 hours a week, and you're not making ends meet. So you don't have money for food. So it's an incentive to work a second or third job. I started thinking about it some more. Now, I don't know if this is right to say or whatever, but I thought back to the 15, 16, 1700s and black people in America. And I thought how they were incentivized to work, really. If they didn't work or tried to run away or quit or basically not follow anything that they were ordered to do, that was an incentive, and there was an incentive there. You'll have to forgive me if that's not correct to say, but I'm talking about the word incentive here, what it really is. So I thought about that some more. He says he provided thousands of jobs. I don't know if he's talking about the whole country. I don't know if he's talking about his golf course or what. He gave an incentive. It gave people thousands of jobs. And I don't know how that worked. If, say, there was a bait shop in Louisville, Kentucky, and one day the owner said, you know what? Trump isn't paying his taxes. Let's hire 10 new people. Is that how that worked? Because we're not talking about everybody here. Trump used these, with his lawyers and his armies of accountants and all that. Him specifically did not pay huge amounts of what he should have been paying. We're not talking about the bait shop in Louisville, Kentucky, or the car dealership in San Francisco or whatever. Did that somehow, him not paying his taxes, worming his way out of taxes, did that all of a sudden the owners of these other businesses, that's it, let's go out and hire 20 new people. Incentive. So he doesn't pay his taxes to give me the privilege to make, $15 an hour. Say I work at his golf course to serve people, to be a busboy. So he blesses me with this incentive to work at his golf course, making $15 an hour. And the money he charges for all the people that go there, everything, he's making money. He's basically making his living off me, off people. He's earning money from my hard work. And he's blessing me with this incentive and then I'm paying his taxes. 20% or whatever of my paycheck is going to cover his taxes and to pay for this incentive that I have to work for him. So that's why he doesn't have to pay taxes, because he provides me with this wonderful blessing to work for him and make him even more money. And I started thinking about this tax plan that Republicans are coming up with, and I might be wrong here, but their idea is to only pay taxes on the money you spend. All right, so I make $800 a week, all that has to go for rent. My entire check pretty much has to go for living expenses. 100% of what I'm making basically is going to be taxed. Okay, take somebody like Donald Trump. They make $800,000 in a week. That's probably about right. What fraction of that do they have to spend? It goes for necessities, for rent, food or whatever, of that $800,000. I don't know, maybe, let's call it $80,000. What fraction of that per week would go for Donald Trump's living expenses? 5% maybe at the most. So that leaves 95% of his weekly income untaxed to reinvest and make even more money and get even more wealthy. Well, I have less money because I'm paying 100%. I'm paying tax on 100% of everything I make because I have to live. My incentive, once again, if I don't want to live on the street and I don't want to starve, I have to pay 100% of my, I have to work all the time and pay 100% on everything I make so I could eat and live. I started thinking about that because it's just taxing people on what they spend. It has nothing to do with percentages. So I started thinking, what if when we earn interest, it was based on that? It wasn't based on the percentage that we have in the bank. I have $1,000 in the bank and I get a percentage in interest each month. Okay, so say that's not the case now. Instead, I get interest only on the money that I put in each month. If I put in $100, then I get interest on that. And the next month, if I put in $50, I'll get interest on that. And I'll still end up earning interest on everything that was put in the bank. But I'm only earning interest on, not percentage, but on what I'm putting in or spending each month. I don't know if that's a fair comparison, but I don't think many people would go for that, for just getting interest on what you put in and not the percentage of the total amount you have. Just like the total being taxed on the total amount Donald Trump makes each week, or the total amount I make each week. Just something to think about. Let me know. I could be wrong, but I could be a little right. Have a good Tuesday.